Riding the Hudson Line north, the train sounded like it was sobbing as we slid out of Grand Central Station. This story is about a character who is not me. It's important that you remember I am not him. When I was old enough, I joined the Army. I learned exactly how little one man can do with two hands. I served 4 tours. They sent me home on account of a growing fear of crowds, honorably discharged. The service is a job I did, but I just don't talk about. So I moved to New York City. I love to ride trains and subways, and what better place to face my fears? I was riding the Hudson Line north. The train sounded like it was humming quietly to itself. The rustle of newspapers was the loudest noise. You could tell who was sleeping by their breath. And then a child began to cry until the rustle and hum was replaced with lit-wick tantrum, with sobs involuntary, the child's voice climbing pitch like fire up pine trees. The child was shrieking, the passengers howling, the mother was shouting, "He is sick, I am sorry, he is sick." And they were shouting back. Women were standing up in their seats. I could feel the rocks cracking against the walls. This was not any sort of dream. There was a man in Carhartt coveralls standing up in the aisle, his face thrust into their seats. This woman was riding alone with 2 children from 2 seats back. I could smell this man from behind. He could have been my grandfather. The man grabbed the child by a skinny brown wrist and everything stopped. People kept on shouting, I think. I don't remember really. I stood up. This train's passengers were white, and it did not take her hijab to mark her as different. I took 2 steps towards her Carhartt armored assailant. I panicked for a moment. I made eyes at the horizon. I pretended I was still a soldier. I stepped within a breath and touched the man's arm. I saluted and said, "Sir, I can take it from here." I took the child's now bruised wrist like it were a parcel or he were a prisoner released and returned it to his mother. And it was over. Except that I asked you to remember this man was not me. Because this is a true story, only that I did nothing. I sat across from this woman and did nothing. I made eye contact and wished I had not. The man shook the child and shouted until everything was silent but him. Each of us only gets a few opportunities to show another person that humanity is more than the people behind you who will trample you when you fall, and I did not speak up. This is a secret I have kept so long, I know it like a chipped tooth. I have rubbed myself raw on the edges of my own cowardice as long as I can remember. This is how I remember how hard it can be to speak up.